Sean Parnell, host of the Battleground podcast in Pennsylvania. Sean Parnell knows that terrain super well. I mean, it's a national podcast, but he is in Battleground, Pennsylvania. He's on the Clay and Buck network. Sean, it's looking very, I mean, obviously Trump won Pennsylvania. That's fantastic. Looking very, not just good, definitive for McCormick. You know Dave
Yeah.
well. He should be our next senator from Pennsylvania. The media hasn't called it for him. What's going on?
It's over. I mean, they haven't called it. And consider this, that the AP called Michigan already for Slotkin, the Democrat. It is a much tighter race in Michigan. The race for Senate in Pennsylvania is over. McCormick won. Casey just does, either he knows it and he's an election denier, or he doesn't know it and he's just clinging to victory. I don't know, but the race is over. He does not have a mathematical path to victory. He should have conceded 2 days ago, but he's trying to drag this thing out as long as humanly possible to get within the recount margin here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And if he gets within that 0.5% for a recount, he hopes for a miracle, some sort of Hail Mary. But I'm telling you both, it ain't coming. Put it in the books for McCormick. The race is over. Casey does not have a mathematical path to victory.
Sean, you have busted your ass. I was sending you messages from being up in Pennsylvania at the Ohio State-Penn State game. We were out. I'm very excited for Dave McCormick and Donald Trump for their big wins in Pennsylvania. How personally gratifying is it for you, given how hard you've worked, to see both of those races, which are so fundamentally important, go the way of the good guys?
Let me just give you the full context on this, and I'll give you the scoop on how we flipped Pennsylvania, because we've kind of kept it on the down low for quite some time. Just some context for people who are listening. I ran in 2020, was at the top of the ticket with President Trump. Lots of issues with the 2020 election, which interestingly enough, people, even Democrats, are asking questions about now when you look at the turnout in 2020 as it compares to the 2024 turnout. Bad things happened in 2020. Senate race didn't go as I initially planned. They waged lawfare against me. I was one of the first victims of that in Pennsylvania, but I threw myself into trying to make Pennsylvania more red. I had an initial plan, a concept of a plan when I was running for Senate in 2022. I went to Dave McCormick 18 months ago after his primary against Dr. Oz, but before he declared for Senate. I had a plan. I said, listen, this is outcome determinative for Republicans in Pennsylvania. We have to start fighting like Democrats. We have to start focusing on early vote, and we have to start banking mail-in votes prior to Election Day. In 2020, the Democrats had a 1.1 million mail-in ballot firewall going into Election Day that is untenable and is not good. Doesn't bode well for Republicans on Election Day with that type of a firewall in place. And so we rolled out this organization slowly 18 months ago. Guys, we raised $16 million for this operation, and the task was very simple. Build an early vote and a mail-in ballot infrastructure that rivals that of the Democrats to cut into that firewall. And we had this constellation of different GOP groups that were involved, a bunch of patriots who wanted to win Pennsylvania. My guidance to them was say nothing. No media. We don't have a comms arm. I want no one posting on social media, no bragging, nothing but quiet professionals working behind the scenes, because I wanted the Democrats to be complacent. I wanted the Democrats to think that the Republicans in Pennsylvania are a mess, like we have been in the past. By the time the returns started coming in on requests for mail-in ballots and then returns, it was too late for the Democrats, and we had cut into their margin by 700,000 votes. And I'm telling you, it's these young kids in Pennsylvania who worked behind the scenes on this that flipped this state and turned it red. And I could not be more proud of these staffers. And I'll tell you another thing. We're going to grow. We're going to continue this program here in Pennsylvania to turn it red forever. Shapiro and Fetterman are the last statewide Dems you'll see elected here in Pennsylvania. And then we're going to go to Wisconsin. We're going to go to Michigan. We're going to go to New Hampshire. We're going to go to New Jersey. And we're going to do the same thing there. Because Republicans, as far as I'm concerned, we have a mandate now, an historic mandate, and do everything we can to make it much more difficult for Democrats to win in states that they count on being blue. We're going on offense and we're not looking back.
Speaking of Sean Parnell, he's on the Clay and Buck Podcast Network, Battleground Podcast, great podcast. And Sean, which many of you are listening to, and the numbers are growing every month. So thank you all for that. Sean, the Amish stuff that I've seen online, the memes, amazing. Like, very happy to have our Amish brothers and sisters joining the conservative revolution here. A lot of them, as I understand it, registering because the Amish haven't been
Yeah.
a super active political community. Can you give me some, for a lot of people in the rest of the country, we don't know many Amish. You know what I mean? Like, Pennsylvania is Amish country in some parts. What was the deal with that? I mean, how many do we know registered? Is that all real? Because the memes online were amazing.
Yeah, of course it's real. There are 80,000 Amish in Pennsylvania. And this is a largely untapped voting block. People that are unregistered. Of course, we should get out there and register. 300,000 hunters in Pennsylvania that by and large are unaffiliated with a party. But we know if they're hunting, they're probably leaning GOP. Or if not, they're moderate Democrats that are probably pro-gun. Trump and any Republican probably win their vote too. Scott Presler has been amazing. Cliff Maloney on PA Chase has also been amazing in terms of registering voters. But I'll tell you another thing, like a dirty little secret here. GOP was dooming like crazy when Governor Shapiro signed the automatic voter registration. What he didn't realize is that we had this clandestine group that was tapping into that automatic voter registration in the state and immediately getting those people mail-in ballots. So we used the data that Shapiro thought would benefit the Democrats, but we were using that to get people ballots and things like that, and using that data to our benefit. And I think we're going to continue to use it to our benefit. But yes, Buck, I mean, you look at the voter registration trend since 2020, Democrats had a 650,000 person voter registration advantage. Today, that number is somewhere under 320,000. So a lot of people worked really hard to close that gap. And this state is going to continue to trend red as long as we continue doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. And we are. We're going to keep doing that stuff.
Sean, I hit on this earlier. Trump won, landslide, biggest Republican win since 1980. I don't know if you've dove hard into these numbers yet, but here's the final margins, at least as I am speaking to you right now. Trump won Wisconsin by 30,000 votes. Trump won Pennsylvania by about 130,000 votes. Trump won Michigan by 82,000 votes. That's 242,000 what I call Big Ten state voters standing between us and Kamala. It's a win, but to your point, it's a win that has to be expanded upon so we can start to create some real breathing room when it comes to these races.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. This is, if you look at it, talk about it in military terms, this is a victory, a great victory, one that should be celebrated, but it's one battle in the much larger political war. We can't take our foot off the gas. And the reason for that is that we have a popular vote mandate, which is amazing, by the way. So the left can't go out there and scream about how broken the Electoral College is. We have a popular vote landslide, which is amazing. We've got the Senate, control of the Senate. The House, they haven't called it yet, but it's 99% chance we're going to be controlling the House of Representatives. We got the United States Supreme Court. We won state legislative districts and state houses all across the country. There is a mandate in place for the people of this country, and Republicans who were just elected up and down the ballot, you have got to honor that. The American people, there's power bestowed on our elected representatives, given to them by the American people to act on this mandate. And so I don't want to see any resting on our laurels when people get in office, no squabbling internally. Go into office with an agenda and do everything that you can to dismantle this commie Democrat agenda, not just for the next 4 years, but for the next 400, and do everything that you can to make it more difficult for Democrats to win, because that's exactly what they do when they're in power. They look for ways to gerrymander states. They look for ways to pass voter registration laws that are favorable to them, or dismantle election integrity laws that would make it easier for Democrats to win. Republicans have to go in and do the exact opposite of all of those things to try to dismantle the Democrat agenda, because I'm tired of being the party of gentlemen losers. I'm tired of being a speed bump on the way to what is an ultimate Democrat objective. Republicans need to go on offense, and now they have a mandate to do it, and they should act on it.
Sean.
God, this is, I mean, how much just pure fun is this, by the way? Like, we've been telling everybody. I don't know about you. I bet, Sean, you're just sometimes walking around, you and your wife, and just like sometimes you probably are just smiling, right? Like, because it just, even if something else is going on, you're changing light bulbs, you're cleaning gutters, whatever you have to do. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way as I do. Like, you just feel like you've had a perpetual smile on your face for the last, 36 hours or so. That's the way I feel.
I mean, look, man, I'm a competitor, you know? I played sports my whole life, and then I joined the military where, hey, if you come in second place on the battlefield, you're wounded or dead, and then you get into politics, right? Which is like a contact sport. There's one game in the season, and it's the Super Bowl, and when you win that game, and you in a decisive fashion, by the way, I mean, it just feels good. It feels like you just win the Stanley Cup, feels like you just won the Super Bowl, and I'm telling you, like, this is great. We'll celebrate this victory, but this victory needs to be used as a springboard into dismantling the Democrat power base. Because I swear, these communist policies of the Democrat Party are diametrically opposed to what it means to be an American and achieving the American dream. Which, interestingly enough, is part of the reason why I think the youth vote went to Trump. The American dream has become an illusion for a lot of these kids. So we're on the verge of changing this country for the better for our children and our grandchildren, and that is a very, very good thing.
Check out the Battleground podcast on the Clay and Buck Network. Sean Parnell, the host. Also, Sean Parnell is going to be taking the reins of the big show here on Thanksgiving week. He'll be Sean. You're in on Black Friday, I believe. I
think sometime. I mean, that might be up in the air. It might be around Christmas, but either way, when that happens, I'm super excited to do it. That'll be amazing. We're excited
you'll be taking the reins at some point. Sorry if I got the dates wrong. Yeah. I'm not good with dates in general, though. But you will be doing it. So thank you, Sean.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Look, all right, we're going to try to bounce back. We had a lot of wins already this week, Buck. I'm going to try to give everybody a Prize Picks win right now. Thursday Night Football. It is a fabulous matchup. By the way, I just want to make sure, because I don't do sports full-time anymore, and I've just been, like, floating on air over this last win. Okay, yeah. Bengals-Ravens. Bengals-Ravens going on tonight. That's a really good game. Cincinnati against Baltimore. I have got a winning ticket for you with Prize Picks. All right, listen along. We have to win all 4 of these. If we do, then we are going to have a 10-1 payout, as we've had a couple of times already this season. Now, I lost last week. We had 3 out of 4, super close. Feel good about this one. Here we go. Derrick Henry, more than 96, is it 91.5, I think, rushing yards, more on the rushing yards. I wrote this down, and now I can't even read my own writing. Jamar Chase, more than 1/2 rushing or receiving touchdowns, star wide receiver. Lamar Jackson, less than 49.5 rushing yards, and Joe Burrow, more than 273.5 passing yards. Joe Burrow, passing offense, starting to get hot. Lamar not running the football very much. Derrick Henry, best running back in the league. Jamar Chase, one of the best receivers in the league. More on Jamar Chase touchdowns, more on Derrick Henry rushing yards, less on Lamar Jackson quarterback rushing yards, more on Joe Burrow passing.
So there's a Jamar and a Lamar.
Yes.
Just making sure I got
Jamar Chase. Yes, there is a Jamar Chase and a Lamar Jackson. There are 2 different people on 2 different teams, actually. And that is the winning ticket. You can play along in Texas, California, Georgia. If you've been feeling left out, Florida, where Buck is, Tennessee, where I am, 30-plus states, prizepicks.com. Use my name, Clay. They will give you $50 when you sign up and place a $5 pick. All right, your first $5 pick, you get $50. Basically, you get $50 just for signing up. If I'm right, what I just gave out pays off at 10-1. Prizepicks.com. My name, Clay. That is prizepicks.com. My name, Clay. Get hooked up today.